Good morning and welcome to Ag Talk and the Raw, where I talk about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. As you've noticed, possibly through the two YouTube channels, I am growing a beard. I think Teresa shaved a little bit of it there. Nah, it's just lighting. The reason I grow a beard this month is, my son came up to me, Joseph. He says, "Hey, Dad, it's No Shave November." He said, "Let's have a competition. I won't shave and you won't shave and see who gets the better beard." I was like, "Okay, son, no problem." So that's the reason for the beard. I'm not trying to be fashionable by any means. And as you can see by my beard, it used to be all this color, red, this dark auburn red. But now, of course, it's infiltrated with the white, which is kind of a pandy trait. And it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. My mom's like, "You're getting old, Wesley," which is true. And I told her, I says, "Well, Mom, if I'm getting old, that means you're getting a lot older." So that's just the way that works. Now, my mom will be 70 here in January. I'm sure she'll enjoy me saying that. But yes, she will be 70 years old in January. And of course, my dad will be 71 in April. And as my cup says, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good, which is my favorite mug because I am a Potter fan. I can't wait for the new Potter movie to come out. It's actually not Harry Potter, but the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is, that I watched that movie. I didn't go to the theater for that one. Teresa is not a Potter fan. So I'm hoping to actually ask my daughter to go with me to see the movie. I haven't been to a movie with her since probably the last Harry Potter movies, like the actual Harry Potter movies. So anyways, with that being said, it's me and William here, and as you can see, he is taking up much more of me. His feet are way down here now, taking up much more of the screen than he used to, because he's growing like a badass weed. This is Jimson Weed William. That's what we're going to call him, Jimson Weed William. You know how bad those weeds are. So anyways, it is Thanksgiving morning. I did not say anything about Thanksgiving in my other video. I was actually contacted by someone, and I really need to actually get back to them today because it was a little belated and I didn't actually get to say anything. But in the news, there it is, as you can see that says Pro Ag. That is basically a get yourself familiar with the Pro Ag Design Bale Runner 16K book. It's a training book or training DVD. I still have a DVD player with my Apple computer. I don't use it very often because, let's face it, it just is a DVR. I can rewrite and stuff with that. And, I do have plans on getting that, getting my VHS tapes that I have from 25, 30 years ago, from the late 80s on up, put onto disc. I have the machine downstairs. I just haven't gotten to it. And there's a lot of agricultural stuff on there, including when I was a child. I say a child, but when I was a young man or even in high school. There's a video of me and my now ex-wife at the prom in 1990. The 1991 prom, me and my now ex-wife crashed that. We went to the beach for the day with our friends, and then when we came back, we're like, "Hey, let's go crash the prom." And we did. I was wearing shorts, which is very rare for me, but I was wearing shorts and sandals or flip-flops or something. Oh, no, they were boat shoes. And the teachers or the chaperones at the time, they let us in. And they actually gave us the glasses, the little, the champagne glasses that we were only allowed to drink apple cider from. But we were so informal, we actually danced on the dance floor and had a great time. There were four of us. It was me, my ex-wife, Tiffany Purcell, and Craig Schneiderwind. Those were the people that I hung out with on prom day 1991, and we crashed the prom. I hope they remember. They don't watch my stuff, I'm sure. Craig might. He actually has a farm, small farm across the river. Yes, in Pennsylvania, right across the river. Not the guy across the river. That's a whole different story. But Craig Schneiderwind, if you're watching, good memories, man. I should go see him. I haven't seen him in probably a couple years now. We were never close friends, but you know what? I could say we were good acquaintances, and I was good friends with Tiffany Purcell, and she was actually my sixth cousin, 10 times removed or some shit. But so it was me, my ex-wife, Craig Schneiderman, and Tiffany Purcell crashing the prom. And I don't even know where that came from. But, oh, yeah, because of my VHS tapes. So, in 1998, I purchased my first big square baler, and that was a New Holland 2000, and I pulled it with my John Deere 5020. So, excuse me, I have those videos of that stuff when Tim was little and Haley and Joe were just tiny babies. Tim was little in 98. He was 4 years old. And Haley and Joe were not even on the radar. Haley was born in 99 and Joe was born in 2000. So, that was just the way that is. But, yeah, so those videos are out there. There's other things, snowmobiling back in the day, in like 01 or 02 with the kids, and just having good times. Pulling a boat across the snow. It's just fun stuff. So that's out there. The weather right now, it's 20 degrees outside, which is a plus. This morning I will have my monkeys, my sons, Tim and Joseph. If they don't do it, I'm going to be furious, but Joe has a hard time getting up in the morning, and so does Tim. I think they both have apnea of some sort, sleep apnea, which is probably due to their overweight. I do not have those problems. I sleep quite well. I go to bed and I get up okay. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. It is now 5:32. So, but they're going to rake hay this morning, and probably sometime, if it stays frozen, sometime this afternoon, I will be out there baling it. I have about 100 acres of hay that needs to get raked and baled, so, which will be good because I don't want to be running out of hay before I can make more. So I really need to possibly get a mower in the field this morning and get some of this stuff mowed off so that we can get it mowed off so that tomorrow night when it's frozen we can actually really rock and roll with two balers. Yes, two balers. I'm probably going to pop the loader off of the 8120 and gear that one up to go bale with the new baler, or vice versa. I don't really care which baler goes where, but to be quite honest with you, it just, they're both identical. I would rather run the older baler because it's got wear on it, and I'm used to it. And the new baler, because it's fresh out of the box, or I won't even bother. I'll just put the 4960 on the 4x4, and Tim can go bale with the 4x4 baler, and I'll just leave the new one in the shed. Selling the new one anyway. It hasn't left yet. Haven't gotten any money yet, so I may as well throw some bales through it, right? So that's the plan there. Frozen weather baling. That's where we're going to be at. Hopefully it freezes hard enough. I mean, it's supposed to be 13 degrees at some point tomorrow, which is a hard freeze for us, and we'll be able to get out on that hard ground, get it mowed. Even if I'm only able to mow it and I never am able to get it baled, this will freeze dry it quickly. I do have a farm that I really truly want to get off because it's a big farm and it just needs to get gone, taken off. So I'll probably have those mowers running today. Probably both mowers, two guys raking, Joe and Tim raking the other hay, and then me and Pop will be mowing these other farms down there and getting that stuff on the ground so that the next day after tonight and into tomorrow, it's supposed to be frozen, and we should be able to knock out a few hundred, if not 1,000 bales of hay in that short amount of time if we can go. So, or I'll just have Joseph raking, and then Timothy can pull the gale. So if we get Timothy pulling the gale, get that tight, a nice tight windrow with that. I don't know. We just got a lot of things going on today. Thanksgiving dinner to me isn't until like 5-6 o'clock tonight, so it'll be work all day, get my ass home, eat, and then go back out and do whatever it is I got to do, whether it's pulling hay off of fields or whatever it is. But that's the plan, or those are the plans. I'm not even looking at YouTube right now. I really probably should. I know there's a... Oh, hold on here. I know there's... It's probably going to put me behind there. Yes, it will. Let's... my YouTube icon is gone. What the hell happened to my YouTube icon? There it is. YouTube. Thank you, prick. Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can get... I'm just going to see if I can get some work done. I know there's a lot of guys that are like, oh my God, if you bought that new baler, you know, somebody called me Mr. Moneybags, which I'm not even going to, you know, entertain. You know, there is look, let's put it this way. There's movers and shakers, and then there's losers and takers, okay? I'm a mover and a shaker. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do the job that I want to do and get the job done in a orderly fashion, as you may or may not see or say. And let's see, we get to here. I got to get to my channel so I can actually read comments on what there was. Now, with the new baler, you can either talk about doing something great and big in your life, or you can actually go and do something great and big in your life. Mulch hay business has been okay to me for the last 20 years. I started this in 1998, so this is 20 years in the 20 years. I've done it for 20 years. Let's face it. I bought that baler in February of 1998, and it is now, you know, the end of 2018. So for 20 years, I've been really, you know, building a business. Now, the business has changed over the last 20 years in positive and negative ways. You know, years ago, you could just bale anything. 20 years ago, you could bale anything. If it was, as long as it didn't have any sticks bigger than, say, that. Oh, yeah. You were okay. You could just bale it, and they would take it, and they would complain a little bit, but they weren't going to throw you out. Now, there used to be like 1,200 different mushroom farms down in Kennett Square, Avondale, up here in Reading, and in that area. But I believe we're down to under 100 full-blown mushroom barns, which provide like 78% of the mushrooms to the world. So it's quite an intense business, but it's also a business that has changed over the last 20 years. From all of those mushroom farms down to so few. It's kind of like the dairy industry, but the difference between the dairy industry and the mushroom industry is that it's expanding because of increased use and usages. So, you know, it's changed for the positive. The negative parts of it is that they're now using less hay to produce that compost, but they're not really using less hay. There's just not room for new mushroom mulch hay producers here. There's just not room for it. They have gotten to a point and to a size where they're composting, and well, let's back up a little bit. Mushroom farms, and I've talked about this before, but mushroom farms are composters. Composting facilities are now big time. I actually sell to composting facilities over mushroom farms. Mushroom farms all used to produce their own compost, which, you know, like most people or most businesses, you have a certain way of doing things, and you never, you know, change, or you change slightly. You have your winter mix, your fall mix, your spring mix, and your summer mix. So, and those are what grows the mushrooms best in your mind. Now, what has happened in the last 20 years with the mulch grower or mushroom composters, or the mushroom mulch composters, is that they've dialed this in. They've taken 50 years of research, and they're like, this works well, this works well, this doesn't work, that definitely doesn't work. We had a good result for a little while with this, but then something changed because of inconsistencies in the product. But they've all come down to the conclusion that mushroom farms have come to the conclusion or come to the realization that it is cheaper and more productive to actually purchase their soils from, or their compost from, composters rather than attempt to build it, make it themselves, because the market has become competitive, price-wise. Mushrooms have come down in the store. There's an abundance of them. You're able to go in, and instead of paying $5 a pound, you're able to get it for $1.98 a pound, or $1.88, or whatever it is a pound. So it's a lot cheaper because they're producing them faster, and there's more coming off the beds in a shorter amount of time. So, so that's one way that the mushroom industry has changed. But they still use hay. They still use a lot of hay. Their mixes have changed from, say, 30% straw and 70% hay, or 40% straw and 60% hay. They've have gone, I've even seen 50-50, and 50-50 seem to work okay, but they really are now going the other way. Straw produces a heavier, denser mushroom. So they're going to the straw. Hence, my new baler. Oh, wait, let me get this in here. You're just having all kinds of problems, aren't you? Oh, he's so cute. So, the new baler was bought specifically. Let me get this guy up here. Come on, Mr. Whitey Boy. Was bought specifically for the straw contract that I have down south. And, it's just, that's what you got to do. You got to roll with the punches. This ProAg Design bale stacker, I have one. It's a 6 bale model. I outgrew it 2 balers ago. The last New Holland that I had, I was actually stretching it to its limits. It was like, oh my God, Timothy was leaving earlier, and he was getting behind with the stacking. But once I hit the crone, the level of bales that come off of that crone baler, it's okay, William. The number of bales that come off of that crone baler is a third again faster than what the New Holland is. But the new stack wagon will go 2/3 as fast because it's a 12 bale model, but it's in the run time that it takes you to go out into the field, grab the bales, and come back. So going out and getting 6 bales or 5 bales, as Timothy would do, he'd get 5, 6, 5, and that's how he'd build the stack. He'd go out and grab these bales, and then he would come back, right? What are you doing, little boy? You okay? You okay? He'd go out, and then, so you go out with six bales, come back, then go out and get another 6 bales and come back. The time that it takes to go out into the field and grab the 6 bales and come back twice versus going out, grabbing 12 bales and come back is going to be 2/3. 2/3 the time saved by doing that. So it's a plus. What are you looking at? He's awake. I have him swaddled because he's constantly doing this. But anyways, so the stack wagon is a must for the 2 crone balers. So the other thing is the stack wagon will be able to get in the field and stay in the field longer, in the field faster and stay in the field longer, giving us the advantage of, the crew, the greasing crew, greasing the balers, twining the balers, and getting everything done, while the stack master is out grabbing and stacking from the day before or the night before or whatever. So I'm fully confident that this stack wagon is going to make this operation run faster, better, longer. So even if the balers are stopped at 10 o'clock at night, like while we're down baling that straw, the stack wagon can literally run 24/7. So, and that's where I think that I'm going to have an advantage over the other crews that are going to be working down there, is that that stack wagon, it has a pusher on it. It will pick up wet bales. It doesn't matter. Even if it picks them up on string, it's okay because I'll have a loader there stacking them anyway. As long as it's pulling bales off of those fields, I think we'll be okay. Just my thoughts on that. So, So yeah, so that's how that's going to work. That stack wagon's going to keep us going because, let's face it, I can bale till 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning with the balers, and the stack wagon has had to stop at sundown because the dew gets on that hay and then they stop sliding, whereas with this Bale Runner 16K, that's not going to be the case. So it's just going to be a lot smoother. No, we can talk about other things like corn. Yes, I plan on planting corn this year. I am going to do it. The contract starts in June. I'll have my equipment down there last week of May, and we will be done. Whatever corn is in the ground by May 25th is what's going to be in the ground. Anything after that, oh well, didn't get in the ground. The hay will just continue to grow while I am away baling that straw. And when I get back, I'm either going to send someone back up to start mowing about a week before I get back with the equipment. And yeah, there you go. So the corn will go in the ground. I do have fertilizer coming every single day. It's getting stockpiled there on the farm. It's getting stockpiled. It's there right now. We are, yeah, that's what we're doing. Stockpiling that fertilizer for a corn crop on the home farm. I'm going to plant the home farm into corn. Take it out of the hay and put it into corn. That's about 60 acres of ground there. And yeah, that'll just be the way it is. And then of course, we'll be baling corn fodder in the fall. It should be fun. I miss corn. As stupid as this may sound, I miss corn. I like growing corn. Right, William? Oh, yeah. Little guy. Oh, he's my little guy. He's fighting sleep. I mean, it is 5:30 in the morning, and his mommy, or 5:45, almost 6 o'clock, his mommy went to church. His mommy went to church today, and she was going to go last night, but there was a snow squall that went through. They were claiming whiteout conditions and fatalities everywhere because people don't know how to drive anymore. When I was a kid, they plowed the roads, put cinders down, and that was it. You drove on cinders. You drove smart. You didn't drive like a freaking idiot. So, my ear itches. You didn't drive like an idiot. So, nowadays, they have like 3 hours from the time the snowstorm stops to have that down to bare pavement. And that's just, to me, asinine. So, when people are used to driving on bare pavement, it's totally different than driving on snow. So when you have a snow squall go through and it just puts a dusting of snow onto the roadway, people are not smart enough to realize, hey, I really need to slow the hell down because snow is slippery. Now, when I was a kid, and when I had first started driving, and when I was 17, well, I started driving when I was 16. I had a farmer's license, but I didn't drive much. I wasn't allowed because I couldn't get insurance. In New Jersey, you can't have insurance until you're 17. But anyway. So anyway, when I was 17, I got my driver's license. We were still driving on cinders. And I learned how to drive on snow and cinders. And then a few years later, just in the early 90s, this new, which governor was it? It wasn't Christine Todd Whitman. It was the one before that, Keene, I think. No, Florio, Jim Florio. Jim Florio was our governor, and he's like, you cannot have that. It has to be bare pavement, and it's gone downhill ever since. So, salt sales. Everything is salted. Salt, salt, salt. Rot your cars with salt. Rot your trucks with salt. Rot your tractor fenders with salt. We all know what that is. And just rot. It rots everything. So, salt. Problem with salt is it goes down into the water, now into the ditches, and then the ditches run out into fields, and then you have dead spots in the fields from salt. Now they're using brine, which is calcium chloride. Calcium chloride is hyper rot. You know, it just rots and rots and rots. Oh, and then it poisons the soil. So, I mean, I think it's even in the Bible, salt the earth to starve your enemies. I mean, come on. Who does that stuff? Well, the county does that stuff. So we've got that to deal with. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read some of the comments that are on here. And then we're going to wrap it up at about 35 minutes. And I'll say happy Thanksgiving and hope everybody gets fat on turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing, and God only knows what else. Cranberry sauce, corn, green beans, asparagus. I had asparagus the other night. It was still good. All right, so, okay. We still moldboard plow corn ground and alfalfa ground if we are not rotating. Chisel plow the soybeans and chop corn ground. Great channel. Really enjoyed the ag talk. Well, thanks, Mike. Mike P 7810. Yeah, there are still moldboard plows rolling, but in the larger farms, you just don't see it now. Over in Europe, England, Europe, Ireland, they run moldboard plows. They just do. It's been found that moldboard plows and chisel plows actually decrease worm activity. They destroy the ecosystem below our feet. So no tilling here has come, minimum tilling and no tilling has become commonplace here in New Jersey for sure. I mean, we do still work some ground, but not as extensively as we used to. I used to moldboard plow all the time, but that's just the way it is. Here it is. I live in West Texas with a very sandy type of soil, and only real crops around here are cotton and peanuts. A lot of the local farmers actually have to moldboard their fields almost every year. Most of the time, it's done with a 5 or 6 bottom plow ran with GPS, and the wind also blows every day. But the wheat and the rye that gets planted is only to add security to planting cotton, since it is a very fragile plant that can die and burn up with only a few inches high with no chance of getting it back. Yeah, well, I don't know anything about cotton. I've seen it grown. I think it's cool to see it. But here in New Jersey, cotton just doesn't grow. My grandmother planted cotton. Cotton Top 3 actually sent up some cotton seeds for us, and she planted them and they grew. So I thought that was pretty cool of him, and my grandmother enjoyed it immensely. My grandmother is not doing well. She's doing okay, but she's not doing as good as she should be. But that's a whole nother story. Family crisis about back in October. We almost lost her. So it's just kind of, I didn't say anything about it because I don't cry about stuff like that. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 weeks. You're full of shit. Robert McNair. I do that already. I don't know what your issue is, but I do that already. I don't understand you. As a matter of fact, I've run balers for 20 hours a day. Yeah, 20 hours a day. When it's really crunch time, it's 20 hours a day. And guess what? When it freezes, if there's no snow on this, I'm going to be running 16, 18, 20 hours a day trying to get this hay made. That's just the way it's going to work. So Robert McNair, this one's for you, buddy. You're number one. All right. Great Plains twins rows are 8 inches apart, and time to alternate the seeds. I knew that because they're a disc. So, disc planters, I believe. Hope it all works. Nice beard, LOL. It's getting there. Are you replacing your New Jersey operation with North Carolina? No, to that question. Do you plan to haul straw from North Carolina to the mushroom composters, or are you just handling the baling? If you don't mind explaining. Okay, so I'm contracted to bale and stack the straw. Not hay, the straw. So I bale and stack the straw. Done. That's it. Bale and stack. I have to be no more than a day and a half behind the combines. So when those combines hit the fields, I have to be in the field. When I leave the field, the stack wagon cannot be any more than a day and a half behind me. with 2 balers. So I think it's doable. I think it's feasible. So that's just how that's going to have to work. That's just how it's going to have to work. Now, the stacking of this straw depends on how they are going, whether they're going to tarp it or not. If they decide they're going to tarp the straw down there, then I have to stack that hay, or I have to stack that straw 6, 7, 6. Because the stack wagon runs 6 bales, I'll have a telehandler there to throw the 7th bale up on top, and then we tarp it, which I'm not sure yet. I still have to work on that one. Great talk, Wes. Thanks. The story about the woman and the cell phone is fake news. I kind of realized that. I was just perusing Facebook when I read that, and I just thought it was a funny story. Google reveals it's a hoax. Low information people should not be blindly repeat anything they see on the internet before checking for the truth. Literally 2 seconds before I clicked on to do this, I read that. I kind of felt it was a hoax too. Low information people should not. Low information people. Facts, please. This one's for you too. You just took the place of the last guy. You're number 1 now. There you go. Hey, you're at 10,000 and shitloads of ads. The ads were on there. I don't put them on. They put them on for me. I don't click. I'm not Chucky 2009, and I like Chucky, but Chucky, you're putting too many ads on your damn thing, and he's doing that. I'm not doing that. China and Russia buying farmland in South Africa. Yes, they are. Sorry, chum. A couple of small facts. Reagan and Brian, the Lion, brought in free trade. Yes, we knew that. They brought in the model for free trade. It was not implemented until Clinton. It was later expanded to NAFTA, and that is what I was talking about. NAFTA was what Bill Clinton put in. Reagan did. It wasn't free trade. It was not 100% free trade. I'm sorry. And if it was different than what Bill Clinton put in. NAFTA was not a good thing for either of us in the long run. So, yeah. Depending on where you're going, I would lean towards the 75-30 purely for having brakes. Well, the 81-20 has brakes. The 75-30 has brakes. Yeah, they have brakes. We all got brakes. We have brakes. It's okay. We'll get it stopped. And where I'm going, there are no hills. Tractor house is some decent 6-row planters. Yes, I still don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to stick with what I've got because I don't need to spend any more money than I've already spent. Bush Sr. negotiated NAFTA. Billy Clinton was only around for ratification. No, Bill Clinton enacted NAFTA. He did. No, Bill Clinton did that. Sorry. Congrats on the 10,000 subs finally. Thank you. Oh, downstairs is my silver play button. I have to do an opening ceremony for my channel. Teresa asked me to kindly not to cry when I open up the box. It's like, listen. I have seen some YouTubers tear up and get all emotional over a silver play button. I was a little angered about the silver play button. And I'm going to put the silver play button right there. Right there. So every time I come on and do one of these things, you'll see my silver play button. It is quite an accomplishment for me. Some guys feel that it isn't. And I understand. I watched a guy get his silver play button, and he's like, I'm glad that I've got this award, but really it means nothing to me. And I was a little put off by that guy. I was like, well, why in the hell would you say it means nothing to me? He says, and then he explained what his thought process was, and I thought, well, you know what? You're right. He said, it's an accomplishment that means nothing. You're just entertaining people. And entertainers, and he is an entertainer. He actually is an actor. And I've met him, and I like him. I think he's a nice guy and everything because he's a realist. And the reality is, yes, he put videos up. He started YouTube before me. There were no awards back then. They just weren't available. They didn't happen. He didn't start the channel for the award, nor did I, or the money, nor did I. because I was there before the money, before there was money on YouTube. I've been here for 10 years. So, anyway, I wonder if they've got a 10-year creator award, being on YouTube for 10 years. It's crazy. But anyway, he says, and he walks into his room, at his family's, at his mom and dad's house. He no longer lives there. But he walks into the room, and it's a trophy room for him, his father, and his brother. Very competitive people. He said, now these are awards. These are accomplishments. These took dedication, physical training, and actual skill to get. He said, this is just me doing something that I enjoy doing. There's no skill involved. It's just me. And honestly, that's how it is. So I'm not going to get all emotional over the silver play button. I hate to say it, I was a little disappointed. The original silver play buttons were made of metal. Real, honest-to-goodness, hard metal. Thick steel, or aluminum, zinc metal. This thing, and I'll show you on One Lonely Farmer a little bit later today, this thing is aluminum plate that is got a mirror in it, and it doesn't have the nice wooden frame with the nice glass front, with the nice... It just doesn't. And I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you on the other channel. But it just, to me, but it is an award, and I'm glad that I finally did get it. It kind of did piss me off that I wasn't getting it, and I should be more grateful. But you know what? Like my friend said, he said, you're just doing something that you would do anyway. You never did it for a competition. You didn't do it for the awards. You didn't do it for the money. You did it to express yourself and show people you and maybe your life and how it changes over the last 10 years. I mean, when I started YouTube, I had little children. In 2008, I had 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and, 14-year-olds. Timothy's 24. He was 14 when I did this. So I had children, my first batch, as I call them. My first batch of children. Never expected to have this guy. I was with somebody else, and at that point I felt that, we were going to be around for a long time, and maybe we would have a child, but that never happened. But that was in my 30s. Now, that relationship died, and things happened, and now I have Teresa, and she's almost 11 years younger than me. She doesn't have any children. Well, she does now. She's got little William here, and she said to me, she says, "I would like to have a child. Are you fixed?" That's what she said. I was like, No, I'm fully functional. Yeah, I'm fully functional. She said, and she said it right away. Like, not right away, but I've known her for, I've known her for almost 10 years. 9 years I've known Teresa. Not on a personal level, but I've known her I met her almost 10 years ago. It was, as she will say, June of 2009 is when we met. And, I guess you could say there was an attraction there. Absolutely there was. Even though I was with somebody else, I found her to be rather funny, very personable, beautiful person. And, I'm blessed to have her in my life now. And I was blessed to have the other person in my life, too. I mean, she was, she helped me a lot with the children. And there were always some things but that's relationships. It's never perfect. So anyways, when we got together, she says, Wesley, how old was she? I think 32 or 33 years old when we got together. She's 35 now. So she was 32. She says, Wesley, I'm getting old. My clock is ticking. Are you okay? Would you have any more children? And I was like, well, I always said I was done before 30. And I said, and now I'm 40, 44, 43, 44, 43. I'm 43. She was 32. I was 43. And she pounces that one on me. I was like, well, not right now. We're a new relationship. We're not we're not stable enough to have a child. I don't know. I mean, I'm out of a relationship. We're into this one, and let's just see how it goes. So after about a year, she's like, well, I'm now 34 years old, or 2 years. I'm 34 years old. I think we should have a child now, or I may get too old and not be able to have a child. So we decided to try, and bada bing, bada boom, here he is. So this is how life changes in, those 10 years. My other batch grew up. They grew up. They're attempting to be productive people. Haley is working. Joseph works with me. Timothy works with me. And it's kind of strange how it works. It's just kind of strange how life is. I'm 46 years old. I'm a new father again. And let me tell you something. And I think there's some fathers out there that actually have had children in their 40s. I don't know about their 50s, how it will be in my 50s. I'm not having any more children. We are one and done with me and Teresa. That's it. Just for the simple reason is that we just want to pour all of our love into this guy. And she had preeclampsia. She almost died. She almost had a stroke. She was at 178 over 133. 178 over 133. And they gave her a bunch of magnesium and just kept her blood pressure at bay, keeping it from coagulating and causing her to stroke out. And she had William, and life is okay. So we're doing good. So we decided it wasn't worth her life to try and have another one. And besides, we have a traveling lifestyle now. I love to travel. I love to go see things. And traveling with William shouldn't be too difficult. Traveling with William and another one, the heir and the spare. The spare would be a bit of a pain in the ass to have two children and try to go to the Philippines, try to go to wherever we're going to go in the world, France. I would like to go see Spain and Italy, France. I would like to spend more time in Belgium, more time in England, Scotland, Wales. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area in Wales. I loved Wales. It's like laid back, nothing too hectic. I would live there. Living there would be so much more, enjoyable to me than living here in the rat race of New Jersey. So that's how life changes. Will I ever move to Wales? No, probably not. But I'll visit there because I really liked it. I'll meet some people, hang out with George Saunders again. George and Liz, great people. John, the legend. I like him a lot, even though I like John a lot. I really do. He's a big, bolsterous, beefy guy that he's honest, tell you how it is, and that's just the way it is. And we got along really well. George also. George is an easygoing guy. Heck of a nice guy. Very, very, very hospitality, unbelievable. And George and Liz are welcome in my home anytime. So if they were ever to come to New Jersey, they could come to my house. I would put them up, feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, shuttle them off to New York City to see the sights or wherever it is they want to see. I don't care for the city too much. I mean, it's fun to go and see people that are clueless as to how the world really works, and they just see what revolves around them. Very selfish people in New York City. Very, very selfish, self-centered, selfish people in New York City. And if you're from New York City and you don't believe me, well, I'm sorry. That's just the truth. So, with that being said, there's Lancaster County. I could take George and Liz out there, and they get to see the Amish run around in their horse and buggies and stuff, and we eat at a smorgasbord, and they get to do whatever the heck they wanted. I would definitely be a host to them. Kurt Mills, Lord Muck, hell of a nice guy. We talk on the phone through chat and stuff, and I really would love to meet them. Mr. H's Hot Pot. This is a guy who is my age, who doesn't farm, but he goes and sees the sights around his hometown of Wigan in England. he's a really neat guy. He's a big guy. Him and his wife, they travel around. They do walks. They're expecting. If they're not expecting, they've already had it. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be having that child here. I think it's December, November or December. So they either have had that child or they're having that child right now. They're my age. This is their first kid. So I would love to meet Mr. H's Hot Pot. I don't know what his name is. I've never asked him his name. I don't think he's ever even mentioned his name. But I think he's a wealth of information, and I love history, and I love to see the sights of my country and other countries. So that's something that I would do there. Me and Kurt, I'm trying to get my ass out there yet this year, or 2019, if I can get my damn hay made. I want to go to the Llama Show. The simple reason is I don't care about the Llama Show. I want to go to the Llama Show with my YouTube friends, Kurt, Dino, even though I've never spoke to Dino, but I feel like I know him because I've watched his videos. I've watched him and George and Liz do their thing. I know George and Liz, as acquaintances. We've met. I stayed at their house. They were awesome. They were just awesome people. And, I just want to connect with them and, and just learn about their lifestyle in England and how they work and how they farm. I mean, that's what I liked so much about John the Legend, because it's different. It's interesting. The crops they grow. Winter beans. We don't grow winter beans here. I wouldn't even know what to do with them. They kind of look like chickpeas to me. But winter beans. They plant winter beans. I guess they're for forage or something. I don't know. But I got a hell of a kick out of it. And, so I just think that it's really neat to meet people that you see and watch during your time on YouTube. And, I'm not this high and mighty person. And this is one thing that I will say about YouTube channels. It's funny how a YouTube channel in the farming community, and I'm going to touch on this just a little bit. Say, here I am. See where my scissors are here? Let's put it here, right at William's head. This is where I am. This is where another farming YouTube channel is, right down here. So here I am up here, and I'm at 125,000 plus subscribers now on my One Lonely Farmer channel. Thank you, everyone. And you got Mr. Lowly, 25,000 subscriber, 50,000 subscriber guy who looks up to me. And they post comments on my channel trying to get my attention. Hey, come check out my channel. I'll go check it out. If it's good, I'll mention them or whatnot. Or I'll have conversations with them online through emails. And, hi, William. I kissed your nose. It's a stinky nose, isn't it? I'll have conversations with them, help them out, help them grow their channel a little bit by giving them that boost. And there are the few that have taken that and have been, okay, what are you going to say? Huh? You going to see this? Oh, say hi, Dad. So there are the few channels. My English friends, George Saunders, Liz, John the Legend. I don't know why I call him the Legend because his friend came in and called him John the Legend, but it's the Legend. It came in. Those guys, I boosted their channels. They're very thankful, very grateful. I can still call George on the phone. I can still text message him, which I do from time to time. And they're cool. But there's been some channels that have, were quite, and How Farms Work is not one of them, just so you know. But there are some YouTubers that have just gotten to the point where I boosted their channel. They got close. They're not over 100. There's one that's over 100,000 and going wicked fast. And that person had contacted me through just chat, little message, before YouTube disabled the messaging. And you can't even get them to say hi to you anymore. Like if you leave a message, and that's not the millennial farmer either. Thank you very much, because me and Zach, we never really conversed. He a little here and there, a couple comments between, and I like Zach, so it's fine. But there's some others that I helped up, and then of course there's the unmentionable, and we don't even worry about him. But it's just, there's many ways to be friends, and then there's the two-faced side. So when somebody wants something, they're your best friend, but once they achieve that goal, they're like, don't need you anymore. I passed you a long time ago. You can go to hell, because you know what? My channel's better than yours. So, and I will read this on my silver play button. There's a piece of paper. And I honestly think that someone actually watches your channel in moderation, just checks it out, and then writes this little note. I don't know if they're all the same, but they do say, don't let this go to your head, in that piece of paper. And I agree, because there's a lot of people out there. We're just YouTubers. We're nothing. We are nothing. We're faces that are... Did you hear that? This kid just ripped it. You okay, William? Are you okay? You are rumbly in your tumbly. But what I'm saying is, YouTubers, we're nothing. We do this. I do this for the pure enjoyment of sending, expressing myself. I've made money. I'm not going to lie. I make money on this channel. Each one of those ads that goes across, I make some money. It's not much. This channel is purely out of expressing my thoughts and opinions that I don't do on The One Lonely Farmer, because there's too many people that didn't like my opinions, and they're like, I'm unsubscribing, you political asshole. Well, there's people out there that should be snipped and never allowed to reproduce, because they are just off the charts nuts. Right, William? Oh, you gonna eat that? You can't eat that. You want some coffee? That'll wake you up. So off the charts. You don't have to get along politically to get along personally or professionally. But for some reason, these two parties, Republican, Democrats, their job is the same. Uphold the Constitution of the United States. Protect the people of the United States. Make our lives better than the lives of anyone else around us. Like America first. Why would I put Zimbabwe ahead of the United States? If I was the president of the United States of America, which I am not, I don't want that office. These people coming from Honduras and Guatemala, they mean nothing to me. I don't care. Now, if they come into the country legally, like my great-grandparents did, and my ancestors before that did, then, and they move in next door, and they say, hello, my name is Hablo, I come from Honduras, and I am your new neighbor, I'm legal here, I came in through the border, I did all the paperwork, and I'm good. And that's my best Arab voice I got. I don't know why I use Arab, but anyways, it doesn't even matter. I'm okay, because guess what? You're an American. You are equal to me. Your life and my life mean no more or no less than anyone else that is an American. But if you cross that border illegally, come up and move in next to me, I'm going to report you to ICE, because I'm the biggest asshole you're ever going to meet. I don't like illegal people. I'm sorry, and I'm not afraid to say it. If you're illegal, get the fuck out. Let me close your ears up, William. Get out. We don't want you. Go away. You don't need to be here. You come here because you want everything for free. And now we've got ferret-faced Phil Murphy as the governor. And what's ferret-faced Phil Murphy doing? Oh, we're going to set aside $2 million for legal expenses for illegal immigrants. Legal expenses for illegal immigrants by the governor of New Jersey. Wow, that's amazing. Guess what? To me, that's treason. You're supposed to protect the citizens of the United States of America, not the illegal people from in the United States of America. Are you okay, Mr. Stinker? I think I'm going to have to go. He pooped like big time. I don't know if you can smell this. Take a sniff. But, oh, it was awful, wasn't it? It was. What's this? Your swaddle bug thing here? There. Now you can't eat that. This man is so smiley today. Look at me. Say hi. Say hi. Everybody says he looks like his mom. His mom says he looks like me. I say he's got his mother's forehead and her cute little button nose. Stinky nose. But anyways, I love this guy, and thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, I hope this wasn't boring for you. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat too much turkey. Eat too much stuffing. Eat too much cramp. Escape artist. Did you see it? He's going to get out. Anyways, eat, eat, eat. Get fat and ugly. And don't worry, because Christmas is coming. You can eat the fattened turkey then. And then New Year's, get drunk and stupid and puke it all up. Have a nice one.